How might Liverpool line up in this tour? How might Liverpool line up for this Premier League season, for the 25 to 26 Premier League season? And in this video, I'm going to discuss how Liverpool are going to line up and what players are going to be included. Now, before you watch, could you like, comment, share, subscribe? And I post daily videos, so could you subscribe? Really appreciate it. I want to get to 100 subscribers. Thank you for doing so. So, first off, we start off with goalkeeper. And it's not as obvious as you may think. You're obviously going to think Alisson had a great season. You could say one of his best seasons so far. But I'm not going to... I am going to go with Alisson. But there's also a potential other person who could go in. That's Mamardashvili. He's a great keeper. He just hasn't played much. And I feel like it's still too early for Mamardashvili to take over Alisson. Alisson's still way too good. But it could be near Alisson's 2 seasons time. Is probably, it's going to be at the end. For this season, I think Alisson is definitely, he's going to be the starting keeper for Slot's Liverpool this season. And let's go centre-backs. It's going to be the same that was playing for this season. That would probably be Van Dijk and Konate. And I feel like Konate should be starting. But obviously you can switch him up, because Liverpool have a plethora of centre-backs or players who can play centre-back. And it's basically really up to Slot there. And you can just switch him out. But Van Dijk obviously is going to start. And he probably should get the captain's armband. Probably does have a captain's armband, I'm not too sure there. But it should be Konate with him. And then left back and right back. Now Robertson and Trent is gone. It's the end of an era for Liverpool. And who should they replace him with? Well, they replace him with Kerkez and Frimpong. And they're definitely going to be the starters for the left side and right side. Now Kerkez, he's a bit more defensive. He should be pushed back a bit more to more left back. He's like a proper solid foot back. Frimpong, on the other hand, is a wing back. I mean, you know how Liverpool, they didn't really like how Trent could defend. Well, Frimpong is kind of like that, but he's much more better attacking. He's probably the same defensively, but he's much more better attacking, and he'll play right wing back. And now we have the centre mids. That's going to be, one centre mid will definitely be Gravenberch. He was basically the engine of Liverpool's midfield. Without him, Liverpool didn't crumble, but they were genuinely a different team. And it was just weird if Gravenberch didn't play for Liverpool. He was literally Arne Slot's guy, and he was the mainstay in the Liverpool team. You could say Salah was Liverpool's most important player, same with Van Dijk. You could say Allister, but I think the person who was the most important player last season was definitely Gravenberch. Without him, Liverpool, I mean, the midfield wasn't as good. They needed that guy who could get the ball, he can defend, he can get the ball and get it upfield. That's what Gravenberch did excellently. And to partner him will either be, actually depends on the opposition and depends on the player's ability, but it's either going to be between Endo and Dominic Szoboszlai. And you're probably going to think, very different type of players. Well, this is done on purpose. Endo will be for much harder opposition. Because the much harder opposition, they're going to be attacking more, so that other midfielder will have to be able to defend more. And that's where Endo will come in, or another midfielder to come in and try and defend more. A more defensive-minded midfielder. But when you're playing with an easier team, a weaker team, then Szoboszlai definitely needs to start. And you can really overwhelm the opposition's defense, and you can really overload their box. And that's where Szoboszlai would probably go in next to Gravenberch if they did play a weaker team. Now, a bit more further upfield, but he's staying in the middle, is going to be Florian Wirtz. I think he should be in the number 10, kind of in number 8 role. McAllister will be as the sub, and he'll basically be playing, how would it be, like the Kaka role, basically the number 10 role. He'll be playing them. He'll be playing in off the 2 players ahead of him, and I'll say that later on. Why Wirtz will be so effective in that role is because he's a player that's great to just get the ball and just move forward. And that's what will make Wirtz really effective in this role, and you probably get the best out of him as this number 10, this fake 9, but he's not really a false 9, is he? But he'll be playing in the number 10 role and he can get really advanced. And this is what probably the most efficient in, probably his best position as well. And as sub, you'll have Alexis McAllister, or maybe even you could put McAllister backwards, and you'll have Szoboszlai as sub for Wirtz. But I don't know if Liverpool fans would want that. And on the right hand side, it's not totally the right hand side, but it would be Mohamed Salah. Now, what I'm thinking with this formation is Frimpong, he's gonna bomb forwards, and we're gonna have Salah be more inverted player. He's gonna be playing really more narrow, and that's what I'll make him. That's why I'll make the system so overwhelming for defenders, because there'll be so much players. And if you have Salah more centrally, more close to the goal, he'll be even more effective and he'll make even more goal contributions. And having Salah more inwards, he can dribble more, get the ball more, and you can even have Frimpong on the right on the overlap, and you can get him the ball and he can cross it in. And I feel that'd be a great attacking. You can do it like a duo in a way, kind of, because they both be attacking together. And also you'll have Wirtz on the left of him, and he'll be much more closer than if he had been a total like right winger. And I feel like that'll get Liverpool's attack really like overwhelming the other opposition defenders. Now the front two. Now it's a new potential signing, and it's a bit weird how I did it, but I did like this. We're gonna have Hugo Ekitike as like the CF, and we're gonna have Alexander Isak as a striker. Now, as a CF, I mean the second striker, and Ekitike will be there because he's really great. He's not the best at scoring, which crazes me more that Liverpool spent about 95 million euros on him. But he's really great at the link-up play and getting assists, getting the passing, great dribbling as well. And he's great height, so we can get the ball down and give it off to Wirtz or Salah or Alexander Isak. And I feel that'd be great with Ekitike a bit behind. He can get the ball, and Wirtz and Ekitike can play like get the ball to each other. That'd be great, and they can give it off to Isak. And up front, Isak would be great because Ekitike, he can get the ball, get it to Isak. Isak can score, and even do the other round, or you can have Ekitike running onwards ahead of Isak, and also you can have Wirtz passing it into Ekitike, and he can try to score. And you'll definitely have a big aerial threat with the both of them. And that would be a total handful for a lot of defenders. And also pressing, they're both really great at pressing, and obviously you would expect them. The only downside I have with this potential lineup will be that it's really right hand sided, and on the left you have absolutely no one attacking. You could have Wirtz being more on the left, and you could have Gravenberch more on the left, or Szoboszlai more on the left if you want to swap them around. And you haven't got the left back attacking because I've instructed Kirkus to stay back. That'll probably be a downside for this formation. And Liverpool are used to having their wingers just be the attacking outlet because of the strikers they've had recently, like such as Nunes. And even Firmino, he's a great striker. I'm not saying he's a bad striker, but he wasn't the one who scored the goals. It was Salah and Mane. Obviously, Firmino helped a lot with them, and that's the thing that Liverpool are going to have to get used to. And will it be like two attacking? That's the other thing. You only really have, if you're going to put Szoboszlai in instead of Endo or another defensive player, you're going to really only have about 4 players defending and the goalkeeper. And is that too risky? Let me know. What do you think? I don't really watch Liverpool games, so I got this completely wrong. Let me know down in the comments below. If you like, comment, subscribe, and I make daily videos. Check them out. Thank you for watching.